The ABCs of Splatoon. In this series, I'm going to create Splatoon outfits that go with each letter of the alphabet, along with weapon and title ideas. If you don't understand, you will very shortly. A. A has a good selection for the outfit because of the Anarchy brand. I went with the Anarchy mask, Anarchy flannel hoodie, and Anarchy arachno boots. But you better like that brand because there isn't much outside of that. For weapons, you have both arrow sprays and the Anarchy splatter shot. Not a wide selection, but it can be worse. For title ideas, there's Almighty Angel, Amateur Arpeggio, and Anticipated Announcer. B. The theme for the B fit choices is just black and blue. There's quite a lot that start with those. Here is the black fish fry bandana, black LS, and black seahorses. There's a good amount of weapons that start with B, those being the Big Swigs, Bamboozlers, Blobbers, Ballpoint Splatlings, and Blaster. As for titles, you have Big Brother, Bohemian Bodybuilder, and Bearded Bug. C. There's not really a theme for the C outfit, but it has a decent amount of options. Of course, I had to build it around the Chili Pepper ski jacket, paired with the clue detecting cap and clownfish basics. As for weapons, you can use all of the custom weapons, as well as the carbon roller, classic squiffer, and charcoal decapitator. And some C titles include Champion Card Collector, Cordial Chaos, and Krusty CEO. D. The outfit options are limited, but it'll be enough. I went with the designer headphones, Deep Octo jacket, and Dust Cloud high tops. The weapon pool is dually centered, having Dynamo Roller, the Dreadbringers, both Dapple Dualies, Dually Squelchers, and Bowser Dualies. For titles, there's Dignified Dolphin, Dark Descendant, and of course, Direct Director. E.
A sport.
E's a little rough. This is basically all I could find for E, being the ELK Cat, Easelbub T, and the Eject 30XX. The weapons aren't awful though, having E-Leader 4K and Scope, and Perry Splat Dualies, and the Explosher. For titles, there's Everyone's Entertainer, Evil Entrepreneur, and Enthusiastic Enthusiast. F. F has a decent amount of options for the outfit, and I think this might be the best one I've made so far. It's the Full Moon Glasses, Forge Inkling Parka, and Field Duck Boots. The weapons are a pretty similar scenario to E, having both Flings of Rollers, Foil Squeezer, and the Forge Splatter Shot Pro. And the titles are Fan Favorite Flavor, Fragrant Flower, and Fresh Fly Fish. G. Similar to how B was, the G outfit choices are just green and gray. I went with the green pinhole shades, green cardigan, and green toe jams. Love that name, by the way. As for weapons, there's the Goo Goo Dualies, Gold Dynamo Roller, and Goo Tuber. If you want to be Uzi Dorman, then you can be Goth Gamer, and your other options include Genius Goldfish and Greedy Griller. H. The outfit options for H are somewhat limited, but it's enough. I also kinda cheated because I used the Hot House hat and Hot House hoodie, paired with the Hyper Guppies. The weapon pool is Splatling dominated, as it has all 4 heavy Splatlings plus the Hydra Splatling. It also has the H3 Nozzle Nose and Hero Shot. For H titles, there's Hopeful Hippie, Hidden Helper, and possibly one of my favorite titles I've ever made, Hungry Hungry Horoboros. You could also, of course, throw in the head title if you have it. I thought the options for an I outfit would be pretty limited, but it's not that bad. And I guess that makes sense for a game all about ink. That's exactly why I went with the Ink Black Flap Cap, Ink Fall Shirt, and Ink Black Clam 600s. On a similar theme, the weapons are Ink Brush Nouveau, and the Inkline Tri-Stringer. It is pretty limited for titles, though. There's Iced Introvert, Indian Ocean Island Dweller, and Immediate Information. J. On the opposite end, J had a lot less than I expected, and actually, not a single shirt in this game starts with J, that I know of. And on top of that, I could only find one pair of J shoes, being the jeweled DC toe jams. So I just paired it with the jet cap and called it a day. The only J weapon is the jet squelcher, so that's not great either. Oh, and don't worry, there's barely any titles either. We've got Gelatonal, Jumbo, and just another joke teller. More reasons for me to hate J. K. K is very limited in outfit choices, but at least it's better than J. We got the King Flip Mesh, Kenza Coat, and the Kid Clams, which by the way are the only option there. And the only weapon is the Crack on Splat Roller, so now the titles are the reverse of J. You, or I guess I, only have Keen and Nimble, and then it's Knowledgeable Person, Koala, and Kraken Royale User. L. Finally, we're back to some decent variety. I came up with the Long Build Cap, Lemon Mountain Coat, and Luminous Delta Straps, and I actually think this one looks pretty good. As for weapons, there's the L3 Nozzle Noses, both Luna Blasters, and the Light Tetra Dualies. And lastly, for titles, there's Lavis Legend, Lost Lucky Duck, and Long Awaited Lad. M. Honestly, I expected M to have more outfits to choose from, but there still is a solid selection. Here's the Mecha Mask, Matcha Down Jacket, and the Mako Bucket High Tops. It only has the Mint Decapitator and Mini Splatling for weapons, so not too great there. Plenty of title options though. There's Mary Marina Fan, Modern Middle Manager, and Mesmerizing Mammal. And, oh my god, it's my wife. Hi, Anne, I love you. The outfit options are pretty similar to M. I wanted to build this around the Now or Never headgear, so I went with the Now or Never cap, End Pacer Sweat, and End Pacer Silver. There's a pretty solid amount of weapons for N, both N-Zaps, both Nautilus, the Neo Splash and Sploosh, and the new Squiffer. Not too many titles though. I came up with Neighborly Narrator, National Noob, and Newish Newcomer. O. Well, I has Ink, O has Octo. Even though I didn't really use that for the outfit because I used the Octo Glasses, Orange Cardigan, and Orange Iron Maki 750s. You can use Octobrush as a weapon, but the main thing is that O has all of the order weapons, giving it possibly the best variety of any letter. And title options include Overheated Office Drone, Overachieving Operator, and Original Off the Hook Fan. P. There are a surprising amount of outfit choices for P, and I made this one a little weird. It's the Parallel Mask, Penguin Bolero, and the Punk Knights. P only has the paintbrush for weapons, which is a pretty common trend I'm noticing. And finally, for the titles, there's Punk Piano, Panicking Playmaker, and Pure Party Star. So I've been doing this ABCs of Splatoon series. I'm not explaining what it is, watch it if you haven't seen it, thinking that it wouldn't become outdated because Splatoon is dead. Then Nintendo dropped 30 new weapons. Great. So I made this short to keep the series up to date. The Bazarushi weapons don't really change anything because they all start with the main weapon anyway, so the new mini splatling, Dapple Dualies, Paintbrush, Carbon Roller, Jet Squelcher, and H3 all go with the OG versions. The Embers weapons, however, they make things difficult. B gets the Bulbs Tri-Stringer, H gets the Horns Dreadringer and Hooves Dually Squelchers, P gets the Patterns Undercover Umbrella and Planet's Big Swig. And there are 2 letters that gain 3 weapons from this. C gets the Claws 96 Scowl, Colors Aerospray, and Comet's Octobrush, while G gets the Glamour Splatter Shot, Gleam's Blaster, and Glitter's L3. So really, all we've learned is that the rich get richer. Q. Did you really expect anything from Q? There's not even a point in going over this. There's no outfits, no weapons, no titles that I have. I'm sorry to all the Q supporters, there's nothing here. R. R is similar to a lot of the letters. There's options for it, not a lot, but you can definitely work with it. Here's the Retrospecs, Real Sweat, and of course, the Red Hammer Treads. For weapons, you have the Range Blaster, all 72 Rapid Blasters, the Recycled Umbrellas, and Refluxes. And for titles, I came up with Rock and Rice Bowl, Revived Rock, and Rugged Rookie. S. So I'm not done with this series yet, but I am very confident in saying that S is the most overpowered letter in Splatoon. Who would have guessed that? The outfit I came up with is a sneaky beanie, squid satin jacket, and Swede marine lace-ups, but there are so many different options for S. And the weapons, oh boy, here we go. S-Blast, Slosher, Sloshing Machine, Sniper Rider, Shredder Umbrella, Splash-O-Matic, Splat-Brella, Splat-Charger, Splat-Dually, Splat-Roller, Splatana Stampers, Splatana Wiper, Splatter-Scope, Splatter-Shot, and all of its variants, Sploosh-O-Matic, Squeezer, and the Star Dynamo Roller. Yeah. And titles are Secret Spy, Somehow Success, and Stormy Snowstorm. T. T brings us back down to Earth. Here's the Takaroka Visor, Takaroka Crazy Baseball LS, and Tricolored Boaties. The weapons include the 10 Umbrellas, Tri-Slosher, 10 Attack Splatter Shot, Torrent Hydra Splatling, Tri-Stringer, and Twinkle Splat Dualies. And some T titles include Towering Tofu, the Best Turtle, and Triple Target. Unfortunately, no Tiger yet, but I'm trying. U. There aren't many outfit options for you, but honestly, there's still more than I thought. I also took the easy way out by using the Urchin's Cap and Urchin's Jersey. Then the U Jelly, which I think is the only option there. And then for weapons, it's only the Undercover Umbrellas. That's rough. And for titles, U has Unrivaled Unit, Unstoppable Ultimate Weapon, and Unblemished Underling. V. Last Murder Jones character, here we go. There are a lot of vests in this game, but none of them start with V, so we have to make do with what does. Here's the Vintage Biker Cap, Vintage Check Shirt, and Violet Trainers. No weapons start with V, so I guess you're just gonna have to punch people. And titles are Virtual Villain, Vivid Vocalist, and Vintage Viking. W. W is white, okay? That's what you have to work with here. So this is the white headband, white v-neck tee, and white clam 600s. Surprisingly, the only weapon in Splatoon 3 that starts with W is the well string. I really thought there'd be more. Anyway, some W titles, aka winning titles. Whimsical Wall, Wave Riding Workhorse, and Whirling Whiz. X. Come on, what did you expect me to say? There's absolutely nothing I can do for X. The only X you're gonna find in Splatoon is the button on your controller. Y. Guess what color is useful for Y? Although useful is kind of a stretch because there still isn't much. This is the Yamagiri Beanie, Yellow Layered LS, and the Yellow Seahorses. No weapons for Y, unfortunately, but there are very few titles. Young Yoko and the Gold Bazookas Fan, Young Youngster, and Young Youth. A bit of a theme there. Z. Because of the Zeko brand, Z actually isn't that terrible when it comes to outfits. I came up with the Zeko Mash, Zeko Baseball LS, and Zebrafish High Top. Then for weapons, you have the ZNF Splat Charger and Splatter Scope and the Zinc Mini Splatling. And for titles, you of course have Zesty, paired with Zeko model and Zinc model. But let's do one more before we end this series. Numbers or symbols? Yes, this is possible. You could use the 3D glasses and 8-ball jersey or the 18K aviators and the Omega 3T. No shoes though. For weapons, you can use the 52 and 96 cows. Doesn't matter if you want to start with the dot or the number, it gives you the same result. And titles are 100% 52 gal user or a tentacled 52 gal user. Anyway, that's it. Goodbye.